Good morning, May 9th, 2022, watering the western slope. The grass is doing better. I yanked all those roots, or the weeds. Sorry, I'm still sleeping. Just woke up, didn't even have my coffee yet. I have a couple VA appointments this morning. So again, it's gonna be a late start till we get into the shop. But I think today, we're gonna have to pick up some wood, some wall covering of some sort, probably tongue and groove, maybe some plywood. We'll get the walls up and yeah, and we can get those doors installed after the walls are up. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's gonna be a nice day. Oh, I really would like to actually go look for blonde morel mushrooms instead. Sounds like a much better idea. Maybe we'll do that instead. All work and no play makes a bad day. All right, so I'm not gonna show the skyline, but I'm in a semi-secret location, I suppose. This is one of the locations where I've found morel mushrooms in the past, so I don't like to announce exactly where it is. I've also found oyster mushrooms out here. And so far, I walked probably a mile, and the ground is extremely muddy, and there's not a lot of coverage like this, like taller weeds and stuff. Usually this is where you're gonna find your blonde morels this week of the year, and maybe next week as well. But I haven't seen anything yet. I still have a couple more spots to check. I also have not found any oyster mushrooms. See, out there in the distance, you can see a stump. It's a cottonwood stump. A lot of times they'll be buried under the ground here, and you'll actually see the oyster mushrooms coming up from the ground. It's the only place I've ever seen that. Because they're still growing on the wood. It's just that they're underground and they're popping up through the ground. So I'm keeping my eye out on the ground for oyster mushrooms as well as stumps. We're gonna go check my previous spots as well. And yeah, it's good to get out. I haven't been doing too much hiking or anything lately, just pretty much just working in the shop. So it's good to get out and get some fresh air for sure. All right, let's see if we can find any shroomies. All right, so as far as rainfall goes, you can see the top couple layers of dirt here are still dry. We're approaching that stump here. The stump is pretty far gone. It's pretty much driftwood. I would doubt there's any mushrooms on this. That'd look cool in the front yard though, wouldn't it? Well, that's kind of heavy for me. The truck is about a mile away, so that's gonna have to stay here. All right, so we're approaching this microbiome of, I'm not sure exactly what plant that is. These things here. There's just like a small patch of them right here. And when you have like a small group of plants growing together, that means there's something different about this area, which means that morels may or may not grow here. Right? So it's whenever I see something out of the ordinary, I always get in closer for a closer look just to see, because you never know. The ground is drier than I expected, but this is like perfect though, like these higher weeds and stuff. Morels like to hide under that stuff. I was attracted to this greener little patch here. And yeah, I ran into my first flush of mushrooms here. They're not oysters or anything. I'm not really sure what they are. Let's see. These are the inky caps. Yeah, some mushrooms. Got some fungal activity here, so I'm happy. I keep my eyes peeled. So I'm on my way to the truck. I'm actually almost at the truck, and I passed right by these. These are shaggy Maine mushrooms. It's a type of inky cap mushroom. First of all, never listen to a random guy on YouTube about edibility of mushrooms. These are edible. They have, from what I've never eaten them because they give some people strange reactions. So saying that, I would say that they're not edible. You know, I mean, everybody knows the joke. Every mushroom's edible once, right? But especially if you drink alcohol within a week of eating these shaggy mane mushrooms, some people go a little crazy. So not interested in gambling there, but that's what these are. These are called shaggy manes. And yeah, at least we're finding stuff. Here's another one. This one's just popping up. Still have the dirt on top of it. All right, we've got a couple more clusters of mushrooms. Non-oyster mushrooms though. It's those inky cap type mushrooms. But I have found oyster mushrooms right in this area on logs, cottonwood logs just laying around. I need to make my way across this mud. I don't know how deep it's gonna be, but over there is where I found morels before. All right, looks like the best option is over here. Might not be as bad as I thought. Oh, this is easy. Awesome. I tried coming out here last year and it was so deep. Even with my waders on, I couldn't get over. Sweet. Okay, so here's what I was talking about, the buried logs, the cottonwood. It's like buried. And I found oyster mushrooms on these exact stumps in previous years. These stumps continue on. So maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe they're just not popping yet. No mushrooms yet. Thing is, like this ground that you're looking at right now, this is like the most promising area for morels in this whole section, because we've got the taller green bush grass. We've got the sandy soil. We're right next to water, riparian area, cottonwoods around. I'm not seeing anything. Now, another thing is, the last time I found them here, it wasn't so swampy. I'll keep looking, obviously, and we still have a good hike ahead of us in a much better area. All right, so this is, to me, a perfect area for finding morel mushrooms. We are right next to water. These are all cottonwoods. We got open space in between the cottonwoods, and also a great spot for oyster mushrooms. And so I am recording, it's probably an hour later, because I actually found some oyster mushrooms. They're a little old, but there's some fresh ones up in there that we could actually harvest. But these ones down below, we're gonna leave. Let's peel this bark back and take a look at what these look like on this cottonwood here. So this, looking up at the tree, it is a dead cottonwood. We're gonna peel the bark back and we'll reveal the fresh, not so fresh. I mean, those are edible. You could absolutely, I mean, really all this is edible, even though it's hard and it's buggy. If you were starving, you could go ahead and soak these in water, cook them up, and the bugs and all that stuff won't hurt you. But yeah, there's some fresh stuff here to eat, but I'm gonna leave it go. That tells me that they're out and we're on the right track. This is awesome. So I'm just checking, you know, going from cottonwood to cottonwood, especially the dead ones. And I get over to this tree here and I look down, I see this suspicious pile of rocks. And hey, it's a geocache. So of course, if I open it up, you guys would know exactly where I'm at. So I'm not gonna do that because I wanna keep this place a little bit secret for myself, but yeah, cool. Found a geocache, awesome. All right, it's a solid another hour and probably 2 miles later. Haven't found anything other than those oyster mushrooms. I've been checking, going from cottonwood to cottonwood, every dead one. No luck, no morels. I'm in a good area. Might be a little too dry. Maybe we need another week. I have found morels in this area before. It's either we're unlucky today or they're just not up yet. All right, well, found some oyster mushrooms. Of course, I was attracted to the fallen cottonwood trees. Right there, got some oyster mushrooms, just a very small cluster. You know, usually when you're looking for oysters, you're looking for a giant 10-pound cluster. But we'll make our way over there. And since we know that that log has oyster mushrooms mycelium inside the log, the other side of the log might have even more. Oh, look at this. That's all oyster mushrooms too, right there. So this whole area is full of it, but these ones here have been, it looks like they've been eaten by something. Awesome. All right, let's make our way over to that little cluster and maybe we can find some more. A very small cluster. I'm not even gonna grab it. I'll let those grow out. Check underneath. Right, not seeing anything. All right, cool. Definitely got some nice small oysters here. In about a week, that could be a big 10-pound cluster. So of course we're not going to take them. All right, we do have some more logs to look at, so I'll keep you updated.